Hi, it's Ariel with Auto City in El Cajon, San Diego's award-winning used car dealership. This is a 2017 Nissan 370Z in pearl white with a black interior. This car has just over 19,000 miles. The 370Z is a Japanese-built rear-wheel drive, two-seater sports car with a 6-speed manual transmission. It checks off all the boxes, yet somehow all this time the Z has gone unnoticed by me until today when my superiors said, "Hey, why don't you take the 370Z out for a spin?" So I'm gonna do just that. All right. This car's really loud. Okay. Ooh, this is a heavy clutch. Oh, a heavy clutch with a very short engagement point. It is not easy to drive slow in this car. Oh, and then it just... Okay, all right, we're cooking. I don't know much about this car. Therefore, I encourage any Z34 enthusiasts to correct any mistakes I may make along the way via the comment boxes below. What I do know is that this 370Z is powered by a naturally aspirated 3.7-liter V6 engine. 3.7? 370Z? Get it? When paired with its 6-speed manual transmission, delivers 332 horsepower, 270 pound-feet of torque, and achieves 26 miles to the gallon highway. This 6th generation Z34 does come from a long line of well-revered Z cars, dating all the way back to when Nissan was still Datsun. While it teeters on the brink of retro revival styling, it also maintains its own identity. It's quite unique looking, albeit a Nissan. It's very apparent that this car is built by the same company that brought you the Juke. 332 horsepower don't sound like much by today's sports car standards, but believe you me, this thing is a widowmaker. Especially when comparing it to the other Japanese-built sports car, the apple of my eye, the BRZ/FRS/86, which is like half of this. Still, I can't seem to get my head around why this car has so much power, or rather why I like the 200 horsepower BRZ FRS86 better, all around, as a car. As you'll see in this video, me and this 370Z don't get along so well. On the other hand, this 6th generation Z car has been in production for 10 years with no end in sight. So what do I know? I'll tell you, I usually scoff at big old dang old exhausts, but this one sounds pretty good. All right, look, this car is certainly not fun. It's a lot of fun and really powerful, but it is a little difficult to control. I think for some reason, it might be too powerful for what it is. The fact that it's got a 3.7 liter, is it twin turbo? No. The fact that it has that engine that it has in such a small body kind of makes me a little nervous. And it's not the fact that the body's small, it's the fact that it's cramped. It's the fact that visibility is really challenging out this car. Unnecessarily challenging, if I'm being honest. I really don't know where the front of the car is. I have horrible visibility out the back. The door panels sit up really high. The B pillars or C pillars have actually meshed together into one giant pillar, and those rear windows aren't windows at all. They're just faux windows. So I have no visibility here and there. And since I am actually a cautious driver, especially when I'm driving cars I can't go crazy with these cars because they belong to the lot. If I did something, God forbid, I would be in a lot of trouble. So I do actually drive very carefully, and it's hard to really open this thing up because of how weird it is. It's just very weird. But if you have a straight line ahead of you and no obstructions, it's a freaking blast! You really gotta work that clutch. I am a little rusty, but I'm not that rusty. This clutch is just really heavy. But, maybe you just need to give it some time and try to get used to it and try to find the sweet spot so you can actually manage this car as a daily driver. Okay. It's a lot of fun though. It's a lot of fun. Okay, let's talk about this interior. It's a little cramped in here. I know it's a two-seater sports car and that cramped feel is kind of what you're going for, but the BRZ FRS doesn't have such a cramped feel. It's still small, it's still compact, but I feel like I have room to breathe. Not only that, I feel like I can actually see out of the car. Some things I do really like about this interior though is the way the contour here on the door panel sort of follows through with the dashboard. It does have a really nice line. This line ends to the right side of the center panel, but the other line sort of picks up and follows through with the passenger door, and I just think that's really good looking. Another thing I really like about the door panels is that the climate control vents are in the door panels as opposed to on the dashboard. That's just cool. A lot of that is very reminiscent of the Acura NSX, which I just waxed fanatic about in my last video, which you can watch by clicking here. And say, while you're at it, you can also go down there and hit the subscribe button. Now back to our regularly scheduled 370Z. Another thing I really love about this interior is the way the gauges are laid out. You have your standard cluster over here, but you also have your I'm a sports car gauges up there, your oil temp and your voltmeters and things like that. And when you start the car, they all do that whoop whoop thing at the same time, and it's really cool to look at, and these gauges are sort of angled towards you. And there are some really nice things about this interior. One thing it does have over the BRZ FRS 86 is a bigger trunk. Not for lack of trying, mind you, it just by default happens to be a hatchback, whereas the BRZ FRS 86 is not. Therefore, you have a lot more open space here. The trunk is not particularly deep, but the hatchback allows you more clearance to put stuff into it. The thing I don't like about this hatchback is the way it closes, and I know I'm kind of nitpicking here, like who cares about that, but you know when you slam a door on like a German car and it just feels so good? I never feel like I'm actually really closing this trunk. It's so unsatisfying. Here's something that also kind of irks me about this car. You see this big door here, this big panel. It's a very nice looking panel. It's got this faux leather material and this nice stitching. And I opened it half expecting to see some sort of screen back there with, I don't know, whatever, satellite navigation or car settings or all that crap that I honestly don't care about, but I half expected a car like this to have a screen. When I open it up though, I come to find that it's just a little storage compartment, but it's not even a very big storage compartment. It doesn't go back very deep. There's weird contours in here that makes me feel like I kind of probably can't actually fit a whole lot of stuff in there, and the door doesn't even open up that far. I mean, it doesn't bother me that much. I just wish they made better use of this giant piece of real estate here on the center panel. Other than that, it's just kind of cheap feeling hollow plastic. But then again, this is the company that brought you the Juke and the Altima. However, none of that matters when you get it out on the road, because that 3.7 liter V6 engine just screams. Drop down into second here. You have to really like the sound of an exhaust to appreciate this car. Luckily, I do. I don't know if I could handle that exhaust on a daily basis, but it's fun for right now, I'll tell you that. So even though this car is an absolute blast to drive, I don't feel very comfortable driving it around heavy traffic. It does take a lot of getting used to. Again, that clutch is really heavy and has a very short engagement spot, and even taking off from first, it doesn't want to let you go slowly, which is a cool thing, but considering how poor the visibility is, almost 360 degrees around, I just wouldn't go crazy with this car. Okay, wait, I'm actually starting to get used to it now. Okay, I like it. This clutch also doesn't make for the smoothest downshifting. Okay, well, actually, that was pretty smooth. I mean, I'm really good, so. And as much as I dislike the clutch, I really actually like the shifter a whole lot. It's nice and tight, has almost a gated feel even though it's not. It's got a nice weight to it. I do enjoy shifting gears in this car. Maybe it's not so bad after all. What can I say? Rattle can. What's it sound like with the windows open? Motor. It sounds like a motorcycle. There's an old saying about opinions that I can't repeat here because this is a family-friendly YouTube channel. But I got one, and it's all mine. Doesn't mean this isn't someone else's ideal daily driver, weekend track monster, dream car, or all of the above. I did warm up to it, though. Perhaps I'm being overly critical toward this car. Then again, I am a car critic, but I just don't think the power matches the size, weight, and shape of this body. Then again, maybe I just didn't give it enough time and didn't get used to it. Then again, maybe I'm overly comparing it to the Suba Yoda, which even though vastly underpowered, I happen to be a big fan of. Then again, maybe I'm just not as confident a driver as I thought I was. Either way, I do know that this car does have a loyal fan base, and even though I consider you to be my car guy brethren when it comes to the 370Z, I'm just not one of you. Sorry. If you'd like to come take a look at this car or any of the FRSs or BRZs we happen to have in our award-winning lot, come see us in El Cajon or check us out online at goautocity.com. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Keep driving. Auto City. I really do not like backing this car up. Some clutch chatter there too when you're inching, because I'm damn near burning out the clutch just trying to get into a parking space without hitting something. Can't see anything. Oh, I'm the worst driver in the world. I'm the worst driver in the world. Okay, almost made it. Almost made it.